Ladies and gentlemen, it is. And today is finally the day I get to reveal this monstrosity of a battery build, my second battery build that'll be done on this channel. This battery specifically being for a magnificent build I have coming up very soon. Stay tuned for that. But in today's video, not only am I going to be showing you tips and tricks on what you can do to help you build your battery pack as a beginner, seeing that again, this is only my second battery build, but of course, we're going to be showing you the full build of this monstrosity right here. So let's get into it, starting off with the unboxing and everything that I got for my battery. Wow. Pictures never do anything justice. This is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. This is a GoPro battery. It is. This is fucking stupid. I thought this was gonna be as big as this Anderson connector. So right here I got these little pair of magnets. For the people who've seen my last build, you know why I got these. For the people who are new to this channel, I'll show you why in a minute. So I got two new pairs of tools for the battery build here. This first one being this little setup right here that'll hold your wires in place when trying to solder wire to wire, wire to a connector. You know, it's not very easy when you have nothing to hold them on. Well, you know, you have to have your one hand occupied, or if really both hands occupied, on the solder and the actual soldering iron itself. So that's what this little plate is right here. This unboxing, we got a hydraulic crimp. Absolutely need, especially for how ridiculous this battery is about to be. I need to crimp some very large lugs right here, so I absolutely need this. And this little hammer tool I had was cool, but it just wasn't cutting it. And last but not least, this isn't a tool, but it is essential, and that is a new pair of gloves. Not any pair of gloves, these are heat resistant gloves. So doing my last build with my new spot welder, after a good amount of spot welding, these wires got really hot, and my hands are not good with heat. They cannot take heat at all, so I needed a pair of gloves that's really going to allow me to continue going as the wire started getting a little hot on this one. And these gloves right here should do the job. And not only are they heat resistant, they are impact gloves with some rubber protection. Y'all see how big the battery is in the thumbnail and title. So just in case this battery or any part of this battery falls on my fingers, they'll be protected just a little bit. Shut. 120 volt, 30 amp charger. And this right here is a 21 to 30 series, 950 amp peak, 380 amp continuous BMS. Oh yeah. Now I decided to go a little extra special with the battery wrapping because there was absolutely no way I was gonna get heat shrink for how big this battery is about to be. So I went ahead and bought me this cool ass carbon fiber tape. I thought this will make the battery look real sick. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try and see how it looks when the battery's done. And this is where we get to the last part of the unboxing, the best part, and that is my battery cells. Now because this battery is really big, I needed a lot of battery cells. I guess to a comparison, my first battery build, being a 72 volt 50.4 amp hour battery, aka a 20 series 12 parallel battery, we needed 3 little boxes, the little moly cell boxes that are within the box. Well, this battery being a bit bigger, you know we needed more than 3. So 4, well, not quite 4, maybe not 5, but I'd say about 6. Oh yeah, this one is quite ridiculous. I wasn't lying to you when I said it was monstrous. All of these boxes combined is 588 cells. I only have one issue. The big box I took them out of, 2 of them were 32.50 pounds and one of them were about 30.60 pounds. That means altogether this battery is going to be about 100 pounds. And as y'all can see, I'm not so sure how little old me is going to be able to navigate around with this battery, but I'll figure it out. So now that the unboxing is done, we gotta check the cells, make sure they're all good, and it's just time to get to work. Now that all these are done, I'm kind of going through the same problem that I went through with my first battery build about a year ago. These 4 you see here are all the same. They all fit the cell nice and snug. Where I have about 20 of these, and the difference is 2 ends fit snug, the rest are loose. And that's because they didn't have all the 21.33 millimeters. So once again, just me kind of repeating this suggestion in case people go through the same thing. I'm trying to get everything as fast as possible, and the stuff is just not in stock, which is why I got some ones that are off and some ones that are the right size. But the tight ones on the outside, I leave a lot of the looser ones in the middle, and then I have these, which these have tight on the outside, a little bit in the middle, and then one tight. So it's going to be hold it down in the middle, a little bit loose out here, and then hold it in the inside. And it works, because of course you have the rest of your nickel and copper to hold it down. Alright, now it's really time to get this party started. So I got a few tactics I want to show y'all, starting with this new one I just thought of. So first, I'm going to start by taking this copper and cutting a piece about as long as this entire battery. Let's see, right about there. Hopefully that's not too off of a cut. To properly get the size I need, the width, the last battery build I did about a year ago on the smaller battery for the original bobber, my cuts were a little squiggly. So this time around, I've been had this for a while, but I just thought of this ruler right here is actually just about the width I would need to make this perfect. It'd be a tad bit wide, but as long as I can see a little bit of this battery top, I should know exactly where to spot weld as long as I see that. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to lay this flat and I'm going to try to outline a perfect, nice square line right there so I can get a nice, neat cut and just, you know, just stay along the lines. So let's see how that works. Alright, so now finally, copper and nickel, it's all cut up. The long bits and the short bits. But we got a problem here. As you can tell, this battery is massive. And I'm trying to figure out how can I spot weld and navigate around this entire battery without having to constantly move my spot welder back here, up there, the other side, because the cables are only so long and I don't want to stretch them out and possibly unplug them. And only problem is there's a specific tool that I need. I don't even know if it exists. And if it does exist, I don't have it. So I had to enter my inner childhood in order to build what I need. What is that exactly? It's building this little roller right here out of connects for my spot welder. So what this will allow me to do is pretty much take these goddamn wires right here and simply bam, all the way from here and all the way down. I'll probably roll this battery around the other way when I need to get down here. But still, if I just said, you know what, I'm not going to, bam. If it was too low, I wouldn't be able to do that because the wires would be too close. I wouldn't even be able to pit it back here. If I could, I'd have to loop the wires up and then down so I could barely reach any of these corners. And then to have it away over here, I wouldn't be able to reach this side. And y'all get the point. So I wanted to build a little something to allow me to navigate around if I just need to. As y'all can tell, I can roll this side to side. I just wanted to show it off, but I actually genuinely need this because this battery is too big to navigate without it. A few more tips I want to give y'all. So this first tip right here is actually a tip I told y'all about in my first build, my first ever battery build, that I want to say again because I know not everybody sees my videos. This is not a big channel. So I'm going to spread the word once more. And that is magnets. Y'all see in a minute when I throw this copper and nickel on here and I try to spot weld, it kept shifting on the other end. And that would cause it to be very off, and I was not a fan of that because I felt like the connection was not nearly as good, and it kept bubbling up. So when I would spot weld and it wasn't a flat connection, it would put a hole through the nickel. I did not like that at all. So these magnets, I would sit either one in the middle where I'm spot welding, or I would sit some in the end, spot weld in the middle, spot weld one end and the other end, and bam, it's all straight, and continue the rest of the spot welds. So I recommend if you don't have any, buy you some magnets. If you have some like these, go ahead and use them. That'll make them so much easier and give you very, very straight lined spot welds. And the next one would be gloves. Well, I'm not sure if this is a tip I can fully give yet because I have yet to test them. So when I start spot welding, I'm gonna do a couple without them until this thing heats up. And once it's nice and hot, then I'm gonna use those gloves and see how good they are. And if they're good, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend them to y'all. Because the last time I remember, this spot welder gets hot. Them cables get real hot. And I guess one more, I got this sitting on this wood right here because when I would spot weld this copper and nickel and flip it and try to navigate on this table, it's scraping the wood up, and I had a bunch of wood chips all on here. I let the spot welder charge back up. I don't know if anybody else's spot welder does this, but I have a super capacitor spot welder. But anyways, just came here to tell y'all these gloves really work. If anything, they're probably overkill for this, but hey, I don't mind overkill. Just kind of feel like you're giving up heat pain for fatigue, because these are tough. About 4 to 5 more hours of spot welding, and then we're done spot welding.
One eternity later.
Okay, watch me, little old me, fold this damn near 100-pound, if not 100-pound battery. Well, half of it's 50 pounds. If I could just get this done, I'm done for today, or at least this morning. It's 12 a.m. or it's almost 12 a.m. right now. I would like to get done with this, eat, and go to hell to sleep. Oh my God. Perfect. So checking the voltage. Let's see. We're at 98.5 volts. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first thing in the morning, we checked this voltage last night and it was at 98.5. I ended up putting some fish paper on it, but I want to check the voltage again just to make sure that there is no problems, no cells dropping, because I'm not gonna lie, I did have a few problems and mess ups. Let me just say mess ups. But once again, we're gonna go ahead and check the voltage once more to make sure there are no changes, no bad changes. Last night was 98.5 volts. Let's see where we're at right now. See if we're still the same. What's that say? 98.5, 98.6. It's trying to go higher. Look at that. Lovely. Batteries all spot welded and wrapped up. It's now time to start soldering these wires on so we can get the BMS hooked up. What I do want to say is I got these 2 gauge wires right here. I ended up using for the main discharge because I just wasn't sure if the 4 gauge would be enough. It worked good for the last build, but this ain't the last build. And what really helped me make sure I wasn't wasting any extra money is I ended up coming across Lord Kurt on Facebook page. He's the man that does all the crazy builds with the Ninja. Talked to him about this battery and the build that I'm trying to do. And he definitely recommended that I go with 2 gauge wires. Now let's get this solder in this goddamn monstrosity of a battery right here. So unlike my last battery build, where I was able to get everything from America, like my BMS, this build ended up being different. Again, my last build I was able to get a perfectly fit BMS from Electro & Co., where Electro & Co. just does not have any of A&T's new BMSs that'll properly be able to handle the power of this battery. Therefore, I had to buy this BMS at 950 amps peak from AliExpress, aka China, directly. So because of that being the case, and there's no third-party company that could do some extra testing of the BMS for me, I gotta do those tests myself before I start finalizing and wrapping this battery up. So this BMS did come with 2 wires and a little button. We soldered the button up, power button, and now I'm gonna plug it up, pull the phone out, pull the app out, and let's see if this thing works so we can finally finish this battery off. Okay, 98.74, so volts and everything is correct. I'm just a little curious to what these 2 warnings are. And those are just simply there because this is a 30 series BMS, but I'm only using 28. So I have 3 of those last series, or 2, can't remember, connected to the last lock. It'll do that, and you can just correct that in the BMS app, and it'll be all normal at the end. So now we can finish the rest of this battery. Okay, I kind of wish I got it on camera, but I just short-circuited this battery very shortly trying to do this here. I think what happened was because I didn't have this down, I removed this off of here because I forgot to put its heat shrink on, and I think it barely touched onto the negative. And I swear, I don't even know if the pop was truly that loud. It had to be loud. I jumped. My brother came out. I don't know what was going on. But check the BMS. Everything is still fine, so we're still chilling. I make sure there's no what looks like any burnt stuff there, nothing. So I'm gonna have to just cut this down. Hopefully I can just use the rest of the wire. Just cut it short a little bit and we'll be fine. But I just short-circuited this thing to the point that I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna clean that up. We gotta go ahead and weld up our charging wires. Alright, now it's time. It is finally time to test out this beautiful looking carbon fiber tape. I hope it works good because it looks good. Now the battery wrap is done, but I don't really want to fully show you all the battery because I have one issue that was bothering me when I did finish it, and that was some gaps that led straight into the battery. One gap wide open straight into the goddamn connection, the positive connection of the battery. If any form of water, if I ever get caught in any form of rain with this project and water gets in there, that is an instant problem. Therefore, I got some silicone to put in and cover all the gaps in this battery to give it a little bit of waterproofing. So to start off with putting this adhesive on, I decided to put some tape into the positive gap since it's so big. So not only to have somewhere for the adhesive to sit, just in case I don't put enough on and doesn't droop down and touch any of the connections. I don't think it'll damage the connections, but I really want to make sure that the adhesive will cover everything up instead of just drooping down, creating more holes because I didn't put enough in. There it is. It is done. The battery pack is finally done. No, it doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look, you know, professional. It looks decent enough. I mean, you got this side. You know, it looks real good if we ignore that side. Let's just keep it this way. But the battery's done, and it is fantastic looking. It looks beautiful. Look at it. The biggest battery pack I've ever built, and this is only my second battery pack build. It's only my second. Twice. Number two. 1, 2.
Wow.
And once again, no, it's not beautiful, but that's not what matters. What matters is that it works. It's functional. But what matters more, even more than that, is where's this battery going? That we're about to find out real soon. And I'm also about to find out real soon if I can get this more than likely 100-pound battery off of this table. But you know what? How heavy is this battery? And that's a question that needs to be asked and answered. So today, we're gonna find out how heavy is the battery. And yes, I was able to get it off the table. It took some work. 93.6 pounds. Wait, y'all can't see it. 93.6 pounds. That's actually lighter than I thought it would be. But that is honestly it, and that is all. So it is about time that I finally say, it has been your boy. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to go ahead, like, comment, and hit the subscribe button to get electrified with the rest of the people. Become electric with the rest of the people. And you're going to want to go ahead and stay tuned for more. Why? Because all you got to do is wait one more week to figure out where this battery is going. One more week to figure out why I have been gone the last 4 months. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.